Jerry Garcia, the beloved frontman of the Grateful Dead, is remembered by millions as a laid-back musical visionary who embodied the spirit of peace, freedom, and counterculture. But behind the tie-dye shirts, extended jams, and gentle smile was a life far darker and more haunted than most fans ever realized. Born in 1942 in San Francisco, Garcia's early life was marred by tragedy. At the age of 5, he witnessed the drowning of his father, a trauma that would silently shape his psyche for the rest of his life. Not long after, he lost part of his right middle finger in a childhood accident, yet another symbol of a life marked by pain and resilience. While he found solace in music and art, his formative years were filled with instability, rebellion, and a growing detachment from the world around him. As the leader of the Grateful Dead, Garcia became the spiritual figurehead of the psychedelic movement, but the pressure of holding that role was enormous. Fans saw him as a guru, a symbol of freedom and higher consciousness, but Garcia often felt trapped by that image. He once said, "What a long, strange trip it's been," but few understood just how strange and lonely that trip was for him. Offstage, he battled serious addiction issues, most notably with heroin and cocaine. The drugs were more than recreational, they were a way to numb the pain, to escape the overwhelming expectations and the demands of constantly being Jerry. His health began deteriorating as early as the 1970s, with his weight fluctuating, his energy dropping, and his performances growing more inconsistent. Garcia's personal relationships also suffered. Though he was warm and charming, he was often emotionally distant, spending much of his time lost in drugs or in the world of music, leaving loved ones feeling neglected. He had multiple failed marriages and struggled to maintain a healthy connection with his children. Financially, he was both a millionaire and a victim taken advantage of by poor management and his own generous nature. He spent vast sums supporting others or simply lost control of where his money went. Even within the Grateful Dead, tension grew as Garcia's drug use worsened. Bandmates, while loyal, often found themselves frustrated and heartbroken as they watched their friend slowly unravel. By the 1980s, Garcia had survived a diabetic coma, numerous rehab attempts, and a growing number of health scares, yet he continued to perform, more out of obligation than joy. The last years of his life were a blur of declining health, missed shows, and failed recovery attempts. On August 9, 1995, just days after checking into a rehab facility to try again, Jerry Garcia died of a heart attack in his sleep at the age of 53. While fans around the world mourned the loss of a cultural icon, those who truly knew him also mourned the man behind the myth, a deeply sensitive, wounded soul who carried the weight of a generation and never found lasting peace. The story of Jerry Garcia is far darker than the haze of psychedelia suggests. It is a story of brilliance shadowed by burden, and of a man whose spirit soared even as he struggled quietly beneath it all.